Well, now, my dearest friends and fellow Americans, we got ourselves a good old fashioned ceasefire. I got to ask you, folks, weren't we told that Iran was finished, not struggling, not weakened, busted, crunched, smashed, destroyed? That's what the man said, the man being Donald John Trump. Navy gone, missiles gone, leadership, they're all dead. And not only is the leadership dead, the leadership to the leadership is dead. The assistant to the assistant managers, they're all dead too. Nothing to see here, folks. And yet somehow this allegedly finished country is still in control of the Strait of Hormuz. It's got it in a chokehold. Somebody explain that to me like I'm five, because the math ain't mathin'. And then these tweets, open up the effing strait, you crazy bastards. All praise be to Allah. I'm going to destroy an entire civilization. Makes the president of the United States look and sound nuts. That's what he. So here I am again. I got to debunk now the conspiracy theories gone all over the place. I got to bring you the truth that Iran doesn't have to win the darn war to freak everybody out. I'm just here to explain it all. Independent Joe. Going to explain everything to you. Welcome to the Joe Rossano Show. All right, folks. Again, we got ourselves a ceasefire. I'm going to debunk the conspiracies. I'm going to bring the honesty. The fake news is at it again. Conspiracy podcasters are all over the place. And it is my job as a responsible guy to come on here and tell everybody the truth, to break it all down for you. Now, before I do, I kindly ask you again, you want me to call out these liars and all this other stuff and take on all these people? I need your help. Okay. So please click subscribe, like, share with your friends, click the notification bell for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. And one of the things that's most important is comment, because I'll be back tomorrow live. Do my first live show tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time, right here. YouTube.com at the Joe Rossano Show. I'm going to respond to your questions. I'm going to respond to your comments. I'm going to answer everything. It's going to be so cool. And you can talk to me in real time. So here we go. The ceasefire has everything to do with the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, which is about the size of a billionaire swimming pool. It's a real small shipping lane, right? But I got to tell you, 20% of the world's energy flows through that darn strait. Really? I mean, 50% of energy that China uses for the billion people they have comes through that strait, right? 80% Japan, and about 50%, maybe even 60% for the European countries. So it's a pretty important place. Now, this is not peace. It's more like everybody calm down before somebody does something stupid. Well, we're way past that now. Even if Iran took serious damage, they do not need full military to come back and create all this pressure, to cause all these problems. They just need enough threat to make shipping companies hesitate. I know some of you guys out there work on boats and are in the shipping business. Would you sail through the Strait of Hormuz right now? Would you really? If there, it's the 1% thing, right? If somebody said, "Hey, Joe, look, there's 1% chance you take a drink of your coffee, you're going to die," right? I'm probably not going to drink it. Well, I'm going to drink it now, but let me get to my point here. If there's a 1% chance that your boat smashes into a mine and explodes, would you sail through there? And that's the problem. So it's partially reopened. It's like VIP reopened. Like you got to be on the list reopened. Okay. So, and this whole deal depends on if the United States and Israel stop bombing things and if Iran leaves the strait open. Now, right now, it's partially open. The answer is simple. It's because leverage is leverage, and Iran still has some. So this is a less than problem solved, and more like nobody breathed weird for 2 weeks. And that's basically where we are right now. And I mean, here's the thing I'm going to get back to. President Trump, you said no wars in the Middle East, sir. All right, you got people voted for you because of that. You're not supposed to get bogged down in the Middle East. And and it's Iran of all places. Okay, now again, there are two sides to this, folks, and I'm going to get to this conspiracy. You got one side where they have nuclear weapons, and you got this other side who says, look, there's no imminent threat. So who cares one way or the other? Fact. Fact. Okay. President Obama thought they had nuclear weapons. Yeah. Let that sink for a second. People on the far left. President Obama thought they had nuclear weapons. He made a deal with them. Billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in cash, took out of the banks and gave to the mullahs in Iran as a bribe, hoping they wouldn't do anything, but they did. But they did. And then you had the other side says, hey, there is no imminent threat. A missile is not going to hit Utah anytime soon, which I agree. I agree. But I mean, it's one of those things like who wants to take the chance? Like the mafia, you ever see Casino where they whacked everybody at the end because Gaji said, well, I figure why take a chance? So that's basically where we are there. Now, the bottom line is, okay, if Iran, however, was truly finished, what do they still have control of that place for? That's because they only need to send one drone, fire one missile, and one mine to explode in that Strait of Hormuz. And that's why everybody's paranoid. That's why that this ceasefire right now is basically held together with duct tape. Now, to the conspiracy. Okay, here's a conspiracy. Trump starts this war to control the world's oil supply. Okay, now let's delve into this conspiracy real quick. He had military operations in Venezuela, oil, wants to take over Greenland, minerals. Now there's a big fight in the Strait of Hormuz where all that oil flows. That big giant gas station over there. It's not a big giant gas station because it's only like a mile and a half wide. So at the end of the day, that's where we are. That's what the problem is right there. You get conspiracies like this that say he started this war because he wants to take control of all the oil in Iran, in Venezuela, all the minerals in Greenland, and force the world to buy from the United States. Now, I will say this. That sounds like a pretty good conspiracy. I mean, that if you think about that, that sounds like something Trump would do. It really does. But I am just not sure, quite frankly, if Donald Trump is that clever. And then you got, folks who do have level heads in the Trump administration, believe it or not. Marco Rubio, Vice President Vance. You saw the debate. It looked like a normal debate to me, normal course of business. But if Iran were that, if Trump was doing this for that reason, I just don't know if all of that is true. And if he did that for that reason, I mean, shame on him. Shame on him. I honestly think that now here's where I'm going to debunk this. Let me tell you exactly what happened there. Folks, our leaders, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Joe Biden, they did nothing about Iran. Kicked it down the road every time, every one of them, every single one of them. Clinton kicked it to Bush. Bush kicked it to Obama. Obama kicked it to Trump. Trump kicked it to Biden. Biden kicked it back to Trump. And I think Trump said, you know what? I'm going to be the president who just blows this whole place up. All right. I'm going to be the guy that gets you. What he used to do, he just used to just kill a terrorist and stopped and he kept his promise. Promises made, promises kept. You guys remember that one? Nope, not at all. Not at all. So that conspiracy, so far as I am concerned, is now officially debunked. He didn't invade Iran because he wanted to sell oil to everyone. He invaded Iran for this reason. Okay, pay very close attention. Israel. Israel. I'll say it right here on air. Israel has way too much influence over the United States, and they've always had it. So it's not just folks, be very clear here. And it's not just Trump, not just Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush, Reagan, right? All of them. They all kissed the wall, and they were going to attack Iran. And so the United States figure, hey, well, we might as well get in this now because we're going to get in it later. As soon as their drones start attacking our installations in the Middle East, that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, Israel was a big part of why the United States went to war in Iran. Put it in the comments if you think I'm wrong, because I just debunked the conspiracy that he's trying to sell oil to everybody. That's not why he did this. I think that he just got to a point where he said, you know what, I'm going to be the guy that gets them. And now we have a 2-week ceasefire. Everybody could say a prayer holds up. There's a lot of moving parts. The strait has to stay open. The U.S. and Israel has to stop all military operations. Hopefully, President Trump will stop cursing on Easter Sunday now and stop threatening to kill an entire civilization. I mean, I saw a clip today, Megyn Kelly. Even she said, shut the F up. That's how I feel. Please shut up, sir. Please stop saying stuff like that. And, this is just the part that nobody can understand is if they're so beat up, how are they still in control? Well, that's why, because it only takes something really small to happen there. That's why they're still in control, because they can send a drone that can explode in the Strait of Hormuz. They can a mine can explode, and that's what everybody's paranoid about right there. Right there. That's why. All right. So this basically just feels more like a pause button than operations ceased or that we can declare victory. It's basically comes down to one darn choke point. I can't believe this. The Strait of Hormuz is as big as Bill Gates' swimming pool is causing all this trouble. A lot of tough talk. No guarantee that things aren't going to go sideways. I would say the war's on pause, folks, but I would also say that crazy is still very much alive. So, what is next? What's next is hope ships can sail through the Strait of Hormuz and hope nobody else gets bombed there to see. See, it's that easy. Look how easy I make it for everybody. It really is. That's how you hold it up. And now J.D. Vance is involved instead of, Jared Kushner, which, I just think Iran couldn't stand old Jared there. And I think J.D. Vance got involved and Pakistan got involved and Turkey got involved. And I think there were mediators. And fortunately, I think we got ourselves a ceasefire that's going to last for about 25 minutes. Now, I'm just kidding. I do hope it lasts. And I want military operations to be over there. I don't want this to be, another Afghanistan, another Iraq. I really don't. I want ground troops in Iran. I don't want any more young guys, young people coming home dead or without their arms or, injured to a point where, they can't play with their kids. Come on. That's not what anybody wants. Again, tomorrow, folks, please join me, youtube.com at the Joe Rossano Show, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I am going to answer your questions. I'm going to respond to your comments in real time. Okay, no cut, no edit later. And that's tomorrow, 12 p.m. As always, my dear friends and fellow Americans, I graciously, wholeheartedly appreciate you hanging out. Don't forget to adopt a pet, folks. God bless you. We'll see you next time.